つもき
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegus, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lenegus is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegus is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegus is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape, as long as the whole satellite does.
Wait,
In case, if we're truly going, it's on us.
Right.
Do you have your... We want to think first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? Something leave or else we ask from the and to destroy that thing all.
You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great in her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Rehna's Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
To take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
To defeat this part of my descended of this. We have Great Spirit left behind in the
Hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Rehna's Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It's true that the escape could contain the Great...
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Rehna's Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. May? Back. Shut up!
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Rehna's Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Rehna's Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Rehna's Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rehna, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rehna's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rehna once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rehna is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rehna.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait. Just offer... be another way.
Hans faster with from gaining sentience. Couldn't we make you how?
Sure. And with the energy we're talking about.
The sword was taking a whole spirit vessel's worth of it. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrek 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details, so assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, my not retirement made to the us Renans.
Signs in my favor who they were. An opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying. but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you...
Do. I think I would be... and a...
Indeed, if maybe... live.
See?
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our... So
For what?
could be controlling us and... Anybody would be... So, really, shut.
Law? Honestly, something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You all... or mouthing it.
You will?
For sure, one way or... And that's an... because...
Remember what I said about its great teaching us?
Yeah?
That's not a little bit of inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. Small amount, so it doesn't... But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Everett 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to act. I fight for who I am. So thanks, Rinwell. I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were
No,
thinking?
that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you, held the blade, I would be a faceless slave, long dead.
I want... Rick said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rehna and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Rehna's Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Rehna's Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. We don't know what will happen when we face it. Need to be anything. Selves when it's... I promise you, planning on going... Thing I...
I'm going to...
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me.
Hmm?
My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You worry about that. I do, Xion.
Once my thorns are... Eh?
Yeah. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rehna, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rehna.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Phasal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
Make you dive.
Try the red.
Well, that may away starship will after.
Warp drive. You should be able to breach Rehna's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, sure?
You'll need to, due to the field surrounding the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together through to the end.
You mean it is multiple champions? Why have you continued to...
It's hard to explain. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
Here, that's
Me, Ren.
Guess
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
Completed the astral. It was Dana.
A world of doom.
Its ass long.
Spirit took.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and empty.
Nothing left here to Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rehna. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate, ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What's
Heard of being.
This is essentially a world-sized disturb to satisfy your curiosity.
I said
Taking an intro, this proves our respect.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Rehna's Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 years ago. As for suppressing her, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength. It's that it's sentient, too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
We might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Rehna's Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up.
Looks like we've little energy.
Question. Knock on. Everyone turns out for the best.
What'll the world... Is that what you're asking?
I mean, at the end of this, I really think everything will be
Chains for... The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and where that's the norm rather than option.
Why wait for... We can show them.
civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
And you can do when you retire.
I can think of dedicated. As for whether Rehna to an aging specimen,
He's thought.
a man can...
Oh, anything wrong with dreaming?
Oh, Halim.
You're too helpful to let retire.
do less of a mint and ultimatum.
Just a friendly suggestion.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
Well, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the arms might have been designed to allow Renans to work a Ganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hoodle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hoodle!
Ow! Seriously, what the hell?
We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Armor won't save you!
Another incantation ruined.
Blood!
You're mine! Be still! Rising Phoenix! It's over!
A banana! Blood!
Take this!
Leave the enemy's arch to me!
No complaints here!
I have no limits! Take this! It's on! Sword Rain Alpha! Okay, here I go. Eternal Devastation! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
There! House it!
Smite with black and
Ignite!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Certainly
Not
not.
in your dreams! Eat dirt!
Take this!
Radiant Illuminate the This one's mine! Holy Glimmer!
Shine! Light! Regeneration!
Holy Glimmer!
Coming through! Inferno!
Iron Lady!
Now you see what
swarm!
Here's a healing arm!
Resonate with the earth!
First aid!
You're mine!
On your
I'll be saving this one!
Be still! Rising Falcon!
Resonate with the earth!
Here I come! I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a fine wall.
Getting lightning!
Take
Get on
this!
in!
Resonate with the earth! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
It's time!
Lightning condemned!
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the
escape!
dark by the power
Eternal
of the
devastation!
Holy Land!
Rising Falcon!
Lunar
I'm
corruption!
not done!
Bring it on!
On your knees!
Rising
This one's
Falcon!
yours! I'm ready! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done. But I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danon slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I hate like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
If we're going to act again.
It's hard.
Curtain underneath the hollowed ocean. Official.
I would be laning.
It's incredible. Stretches all the way down to the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus. They probably weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for?
Don't get careless!
Don't tell me!
Not in your dreams!
Burn in hell!
Stay calm. I shall provide your reflexes will not serve you well
Denied!
here.
It's over!
Now you see what I can do!
Concentration!
Take this! You're finished! Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back.
I'm on
I'll
board!
trip it out.
Alpha! You picked the wrong fight!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
You're mine!
Flame of Fury!
Here I come!
Glacial
You're
Spear!
finished!
Pierce evil!
You're finished!
Blazing raging
Here I come!
First
It's
aid!
over!
Fresh! Purge the left into the shadows!
You're mine!
In here! The ray! By the power of one!
Here I come!
No further.
Annihilation! The water
Rising
power of
Falcon!
magic!
Sword Wind Alpha!
I'm ready.
Reload!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Never flame inside me! Fury!
Lunar
Let
blast!
free!
Air weapon!
Sword Wind Alpha!
Nothing gets by me! Power magic! Here!
Armor won't save
Do
you!
it!
Rinwell! Burst forth!
Propelling our
Flame inside!
Raging!
My power growing!
We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rehna. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of them, I mean. I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. And Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years, no, even before that, just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the... Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
That doesn't sound right.
Their fingertips. Seems pretty unlikely the kind of... Must figure out how to
Borrow shit, brave or mind.
If it works for them, it wouldn't for us. Make things harder for ourselves.
Law, his head talking him out of it.
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danons?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danons. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danons too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Shion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way. He said, without it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
Flame of fury! Raging tornado!
It's over!
Flying free? Why can't they just sit still?
Shia, can you take care of them?
The sooner said than done.
Now I can let loose. I'll take you all off!
Do it!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Finally time won't.
Be still! Phoenix! Burn!
Ruin.
Take this! Eternal devastation! Crush! Dragon's roar! I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
Oh, violent
More
giant
tentacles?
fire.
Keep calm and take them down.
Dance in the wind!
Dragon swarm!
Elusive deity!
There!
Do it!
I'll thank
Get
you!
out there with the
Shia!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! I'm married.
Raging flame of fury! Burning strike!
Explosive ring!
I'll be saving this one!
Say no more! Blood! Here I go! No further!
Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Take this!
Free blend!
Captivity!
Dance in the wind!
Explosive ring! More!
Weak now!
Elusive deity! It's over! Cheating pile driver! You're mine!
Alright!
Dragon swarm! I'm not! Explosive ring! I've been hit with something!
Even a masochist has his limits.
No, feeling so great. Here! This one's all mine! Explosive ring!
Nothing gonna bring you down! Thunder, not in your dreams! Who wants to die now? Reinforcements? Denied!
Bathed in blood.
Here, let me save you! Illuminate aid!
Come forth, Holy Devastation! Holy Radiant!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
Radiant Blood! Here! Here's the out in the wind! In here! Get out of there!
Can't get out of this!
Annihilation!
Eternal devastation! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Lunar Roller! Not today!
One more time! That'll bring you down! Prime and ready! Come forth, Holy Glimmer! I never miss! Holy Lance!
Crush!
Lunar Corruption!
Eternal devastation!
Into the wind! Now!
Eternal devastation!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done! Here's the evil!
You're mine! Sword Lane Alpha!
Holy Lance!
Dragon Swarm! Try this!
Mega Ray!
Explosive Ring! Strike!
Let me help! First
You're mine!
Lightning Orb! Illuminate the dark!
Blade!
Come forth! Holy Glimmer! Holy
Try
Lance!
this!
Pieces! Attack! I'll stop them! This one's mine!
Bloody Sword Lane Alpha! Try this! Splendid I'm ready! Glimmer!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! More?
One dance in the wind! Mega Ray!
Negative kick! Eater! On your no further! I'm ready! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
A world in trouble! Blah, blah, blah! Then rise and shine!
You're mine! Rending you apart! Eternal devastation!
I'm going to use all the power!
Eternal devastation! I'm not done! Eternal devastation!
Shall not be forgotten.
Rising Falcon!
Deny! Blah, blah, blah! Magic!
Here I come!
Not in your dreams!
I'm not done! Rending you apart! Ignite me! In an instant! Impact Claw! More?
Back into the front!
Rising Phoenix! Lightning Thrust!
Illuminate the dark!
Rising Falcon! Stardust!
Radiant Lance!
You're finished! Elusive deity!
Lunar Corruption! By the power of water! Xion! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Nothing gets by me!
Eternal devastation! Dance on the wind! Crush!
Let the marksman handle this!
Be still! Rising
Not in
Falcon!
your dreams!
Be
Denied!
This one's all mine! Take this! Crush!
Rending you apart!
Eternal devastation! Eater!
Raging I never miss!
You're mine! Sword Lane
I
Alpha!
Now!
Rending Fly!
All yours, Kisara.
Dance in the wind!
To be seized.
In here, I can't hold on much longer! A whirling glacial spear! Here's evil!
Can't get out of this.
In here!
Sword Lane Alpha! Try this!
Now! Here's evil! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Violent darting
Sword
wind!
Lane Alpha!
Carve
Try
evil!
this!
Crossblade!
Rending Fly!
Dance in the
Rising
wind!
Falcon!
Steel! Here! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
I'm ready!
Primed and
Be
ready!
still!
Spread!
I must keep striving.
You can ease off yourself.
Pot calls the kettle black. Good advice for all of us, to be honest.